Hi everybody. We talked about in class today, what are you interested in doing for the midterm in ANA 1000 programming for Python programming for data analytics. And I asked the class if you wanted to do a big data analytics project like we had last semester with the Kiva data or some other kind of similar data. And they said it's -47 outside. We're incredibly cold. We want to do something fun. So I said, all right, we'll come up with something fun instead. So for the midterm project, we are going to do the boring Space Dragon adventure game. So the boring Space Dragon adventure game is fantastic because it could be anything that you want it to be. It could be about your life. It could be about your childhood growing up. It could be about an adventure in outer space. It could be a Dungeons and Dragons style game or something else, right? And we're modeling this after a BBS door game from back in the 80s where basically everything's in text and you have to put in your answers in order to make something happen. So in the game, these are the parameters. The game style, the story can be up to you. And in Moodle, I'll put a detailed guide on what exactly to hand in. At the end, you're going to have to hand in one sheet of where the rooms are in your game. And the second piece is going to be your one Python file. We're going to have at least 5 locations in the game. So it could be rooms, it could be places, it could be star bases. It's up to you. But you have to basically allow the user to move between rooms. The whole file is going to be in a while loop. So basically the game will keep on running unless the person dies or gets out or whatever it is, and wait for user input at each stage. Right? Now, in addition, we're going to have some variables that you have to keep track of during the game. We're going to have 3 requirements for putting things in somewhere. Now, those could be dictionaries or lists. You're going to have a wallet or a purse, a pouch, or some kind of money that you could spend. It could be credits. It's up to you. Right? There has to be some kind of money-like object in the game. There has to be a health meter, which could just be you're alive or you're dead. It's up to you. Yep. You could get into fights with people. Your hit points can go down. Their hit points can go down. Again, your choice, but there has to be some kind of health. Even if this is a story about your own life, then you're probably going to be in good health throughout the story. The variable just has to be there. And finally, you have to have a backpack. The backpack is going to be used to hold items. Now, if you pick up a fork and you put it in your backpack, we basically need to take that item and put it into the other item, right? So we're going to go through exactly how to do that. Then finally, the last parameter in the project is that you have to be able to talk to at least 2 people. So you walk up to the person, you go into the room, and it tells you what's going on. Now, in every room that you go into, and again, it could be a room, it could be a dragon's lair, it could be a starbase, or something else, entirely up to you. As soon as you go into the room, it's going to give you a description of what is there. So it's going to say, you're in a room, there's very big windows, there's a guy standing there. And you have to be able to type in talk, let's say, and that would talk to the guy. But you have to provide the user with enough information so they're able to navigate through the game, right? So you have to be able to say talk, pick up fork, put fork in backpack, or something like that. So really what's happening, if you think about it, we have these name variables that are sitting in different locations of the program, and we're telling it, pick up the variable called fork and stick it into the list called backpack, for example. Or, we punch the guy, the health goes down on your side, the bad guy's health goes all the way down. It says you killed the bad guy, or for example, the bad guy kills you and the game's over, right? And it breaks the loop. So we're going to basically look at different ways of putting this together. You have a lot of flexibility in terms of what it is, but it has to have those few parameters of having objects, having health, and being able to navigate through the game with enough explanation so the user knows what to type in or what to press. Now, we could use user input in a string, so you're able to type, for example, pick up fork as a command, or you could have it put in a number. Like, for example, if you have a space game that has sectors, you could have, what sector do you want to go to? 1 to 5 or 1 to 50? And you press a button and something happens, right? We talked about today in class the ability to generate random numbers. So you don't even have to necessarily have a particular thing happen in each room. It could be randomized. As you saw today, we picked a random item from a list. So maybe going into a room generates a random event, and each event is contained in that list. So for example, you go into the room, something happens, that something has a bunch of parameters associated with it, and then the adventure ensues, right? So I hope you really enjoy this. We're going to be working on the project for 2 weeks, the week before reading week, and it's due the week after. And I hope that this is a lot of fun for you, putting it together, and hopefully I'll like playing them all. Thank you.